Have you ever noticed something strange? Two neighbors can earn almost the exact same salary. They drive similar cars. They shop at the same stores. They even complain about money in almost identical ways. Fast forward 30 years and one family has built real wealth that changes the future of their children, while the other is still wondering where all the money went. It wasn't because one person found a secret investment or won the lottery. It wasn't because one worked 20 hours a day. The difference started with something much quieter. A way of thinking that most people never question. And that's the uncomfortable part. The biggest obstacle to building generational wealth usually isn't your income. It's the middle-class mindset that feels completely normal because almost everyone around you has it. Imagine a 29-year-old office worker in Chicago, Manchester, or Berlin. It honestly doesn't matter which city because the story is surprisingly similar. Payday arrives. After taxes, around $4,500 lands in the bank account. For a few glorious hours, life feels under control. Then reality starts collecting its share. Rent or the mortgage takes $1,700. The car payment eats another $500. Insurance quietly steals another few hundred. Student loans remind you they still exist. Credit card payments appear because, apparently, groceries now cost the same as small vacations. Utility bills, streaming subscriptions you forgot about, gym memberships visited once every leap year, and suddenly over $3,000 has disappeared before you've really lived the month. What's left gets spent on weekends, birthdays, coffee, dinners, online shopping, and one little package that somehow keeps arriving at the front door with the magical label, "I don't even remember ordering this." By the end of the month, the account balance looks suspiciously close to where it was 4 weeks ago. Then payday arrives again and the whole movie starts from the beginning. Different month. Same plot twist. If Netflix released this series, people would probably complain it was too repetitive. The surprising part is that most people don't think anything is wrong. They believe this is simply what adulthood looks like. Work hard. Pay bills. Upgrade your lifestyle every few years. Repeat until retirement. Society even rewards this behavior. Buy a bigger house and people say you're successful. Lease a nicer car and people assume you're doing well. Wear expensive clothes and everyone thinks you've made it. Very few people ask the only question that actually matters. Is your wealth growing faster than your lifestyle? This is where the middle-class mindset quietly becomes expensive. It teaches people to measure progress by what they can afford to buy today instead of what they can own tomorrow. Every raise becomes permission for bigger expenses instead of bigger investments. A promotion doesn't increase freedom. It simply upgrades the monthly bills. Let's use very simple math. Imagine you receive a $600 monthly raise after taxes. That sounds fantastic. But instead of investing it, you decide life deserves an upgrade. The apartment becomes slightly nicer. The SUV becomes slightly newer. Dinner moves from twice a month to twice a week. Suddenly, the entire $600 has disappeared into permanent monthly expenses. That's $7,200 every year. Now imagine investing that same $600 every month instead. Assuming a long-term average annual return of around 8%, after 30 years you wouldn't just have the money you contributed. You'd have well over $800,000. That's not magic. That's time doing the heavy lifting while compound growth quietly works in the background. The strange thing is that both versions of your life probably feel almost identical during the first few years. The expensive apartment feels normal. The investments don't feel exciting because you can't show them off at family gatherings. One creates comfort today. The other creates options tomorrow. Psychology plays a huge role here. Human beings are wired to chase visible rewards. A luxury watch gets compliments immediately. Nobody congratulates you because your index fund quietly increased by 2% this month. Our brains love social approval. That's why lifestyle inflation happens almost automatically. We don't wake up thinking, "Today I will destroy my future wealth." We simply copy the financial habits we see around us. If everyone at work upgrades their car after getting promoted, doing the same feels responsible rather than risky. There's also something called the arrival illusion. We believe happiness is waiting one purchase away. Once I move into a better neighborhood, I'll finally relax. Then you arrive, and a few months later the excitement disappears. So the brain searches for the next upgrade. Bigger television, better kitchen, new phone, designer furniture. At some point, your possessions start acting like hungry pets. They constantly need feeding with insurance, maintenance, subscriptions, repairs, and replacements. The irony is almost funny. The more expensive your lifestyle becomes, the harder you have to work just to maintain it. Imagine buying a beautiful sports car. At first, it feels like freedom. Then you realize you're working overtime to make the monthly payment. Congratulations. The car isn't working for you. You're working for the car. If cars could laugh, yours probably would. Financially intelligent people often think differently. They don't automatically ask, "Can I afford this?" They ask, "What does this purchase cost my future?" That's a very different question. A $50,000 vehicle isn't only $50,000. It's also the investment growth that money could have produced over decades. Every large purchase has two price tags. The one printed on the receipt, and the invisible one your future self quietly pays. This doesn't mean wealthy people never enjoy life. That's another misunderstanding. Real wealth isn't about avoiding restaurants forever or refusing to buy nice things. It's about sequence. Many financially successful families delayed lifestyle upgrades until their investments could support them. Instead of spending first and investing whatever remained, they invested first and allowed their assets to eventually pay for the lifestyle. Think about two friends earning exactly the same income. One spends first and saves whatever is left, which usually isn't much. The other automatically invests 20% before touching anything else. 5 years later, the difference isn't dramatic. 10 years later, it becomes noticeable. 25 years later, they're living in completely different financial realities, despite earning similar salaries for most of their careers. This is why generational wealth rarely begins with one giant financial decision. It begins with thousands of ordinary choices that nobody notices. Choosing not to inflate your lifestyle after every raise. Choosing assets that grow instead of liabilities that impress strangers. Choosing long-term ownership over short-term appearances. None of these decisions look exciting on social media. In fact, they're almost boring. But boring has a funny habit of becoming incredibly valuable over time. Here's another interesting observation. Truly wealthy families often appear less wealthy than people trying to look wealthy. One family drives reliable cars, lives below their means, and quietly invests for decades. Another family leases luxury vehicles, finances furniture, upgrades phones every year, and posts vacation photos that receive hundreds of likes. Online, the second family appears richer. On paper, the first family is quietly building financial independence. Social media measures attention. Your bank account measures reality. Those are very different scoreboards. The middle-class mindset isn't about being middle-class forever. It's about believing income alone creates wealth. It doesn't. Income creates opportunity. What happens after the paycheck arrives determines everything else. Every dollar receives an assignment. Some dollars buy temporary comfort. Others quietly build permanent security. Neither choice feels dramatic today. But over 20 or 30 years, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. If there's one idea worth remembering, it's this. Generational wealth is usually built long before anyone notices it exists. By the time people say, they got lucky, decades of quiet decisions have already done the work. The goal was never to look wealthy. The goal was to become financially difficult to shake, no matter what the economy decided to do next. If this perspective gave you something new to think about, consider subscribing to Capvora Capital. We explore money, psychology, and long-term wealth with calm, practical conversations that help you make smarter financial decisions, one video at a time.